Hello guys and welcome back to a brand new, well, it's not a video, it's a different type of thing today. We're doing a podcast, going to be trying to keep this up weekly. Going to be doing it here with Ben, also known as Ben HD.
Hello everybody.
Clinton, also Ford Have Mercy.
Hello.
And we also got Scott, who's known for his away days around with Wolves.
Yeah, hello.
So, basically, throughout this podcast, we're going to be having a look at the Championship. We're going to be rounding it up with news, results, previews, things like that. And, just having a bit of banter with each other about the club. So, basically, going to go through everyone. Obviously, well, everyone should know now I support Reading. Ben, who do you support, mate?
I'm a Preston North End fan. I'm finally proud to say that with results been picking up recently.
Ford?
I'm a Newcastle United fan and I'm loving life at the moment, top of the league.
And Scott?
Yeah, quite the opposite for me. Wolves fan, not doing too great at the moment.
Don't sound too great either, mate. bit robotic.
So, it's all been contrasting seasons, really, isn't it? I mean, Preston didn't start off the greatest. Newcastle didn't start off the greatest. Wolves and we didn't really start off the greatest either. And then Wolves, they were banging it out at the top, really, weren't they? And now it's all swapped around, isn't it? Us three are sitting quite high up the table, and then
The tables have turned, indeed.
yeah, Wolves not doing too great. Scott, mate, what's gone wrong so far for Wolves this year?
Well, because obviously we had Zenga, came in just at the start of the season. He had no pre-season or anything then. The first game was at Rotherham away. We 2-2 draw. We looked sort of a bit more exciting than last season because under Kenny Jackett the football was really poor. And, things got sort of going. We had a few wins early on in the season, some good results. Like we beat Reading, obviously, 2-0. I think that was the second game of the season.
Yeah, brilliant.
Sad to say that. We had a couple of other decent results, and then I don't know what happened. Something happened, whether it was behind the scenes or anything. Then the team just looked a totally different outfit from what it started, and then from then on, we just haven't seemed to get going again.
Yeah, it was just. I was shocked to see Zenga go, to be honest. Everyone else, reactions?
Yeah, I was very surprised to see Zenga go. I thought there was enough encouragement from the start of the season to stick with him, really, ever since results did get bad. I mean, he seemed to be getting the best out of Bodvarsson at the start of the season, especially. So I was surprised by one.
To be honest, I'm very shocked by it. I mean, to be one of the only few teams that's going to beat Newcastle United this season, to get sacked is shocking by the club. But I suppose it's a cutthroat business. At the end of the day, Wolves have got as much ambition as Newcastle, probably wanting to get out of this division. So that's what they've got to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, one interesting thing is actually all four of our teams have played each other, which is a bit mad. It's like so early into the season, obviously we're only just a quarter of the way there. And each one of our teams have played each other. Obviously, Ben, we played you first game of the season, 1-0 win.
Yeah.
And 71% possession we had against you.
God, don't take me back to the start of the season. It was painful. Really. It was painful. I mean, I can speak confidently now because we've happily moved up the table. We're in 11th at this point in time. But I'm not gonna lie. Start of the season, I was a little bit worried for our future projections. I mean, that game and that possession stat you just thrown at me sort of summed up our start of the season, really. But we definitely turned the corner since then. Hopefully, we'll continue down this route because. Can't go back there. We'll just forget about the two Newcastle games. We won't talk.
Oh, yeah. Nah. I thought me and Ben bonded over that week.
Oh, God.
Sick of the sight of me by the end of that week.
I
loved our Preston game, not going to lie. I loved it. We were brilliant for that first game of the season. Second game, though, weren't really too good, were we, Scott?
Exactly that game you were really quite poor, to be honest. I was expecting a lot more, but obviously since then you're a totally different team.
Yeah, I mean, best thing is, third game of the season, played you, Clinton.
Well,
order, all three of you.
Well, that was an excellent game. I mean, that got us going onto the run that we had against Wolves, so thank you for that. And then obviously... some cracking goals in there as well. Remember that Gale effort, the first one? Woo! Still watching.
We got fined for that Gale handball as well. We got fined for it. We got fined 5,000 because Dwight Gale handballed it, tried to get away with it. I think he was doing his best impression of Al Absi as well.
No,
But yeah, obviously 4-1 you beat us.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back on it now, I was so salty after the game. I can see why you beat us as well.
No, but seriously, that after the first 2 games, that was the kickstart that we needed, and from there we went on a decent run. Obviously, then we came up and stuck against Scots boys, Wolves, and obviously we rectified that situation in the cup, and obviously now we're through to the quarterfinals of that. And then obviously Ben doesn't want to go through the trauma of the 2 games in a week.
Oh God, it hurts me.
So what was it, 8 goals conceded in less than 7 days or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, we'll write off Tuesday's game. Tuesday's game was irrelevant, and the game of the league. Preston, to be fair to us, I thought we should have got something from that match. But
I admit that in the second game, I went to that game as well. In the second game, I think you should have got something from that. Honest to God,
yeah,
especially
absolutely.
in the last 10 or so minutes. We.
Oh yeah. If we scored, the scenes would have been ridiculous. If we had got a goal, everything was just building up to it, and then the meal hitting the post from an overhead kick in the last minute. Everything was going off.
That was
Penalty
the one.
appeal.
I remember watching that on Football League show afterwards. I was thinking, Mitrovic it's unfair that he's in the division. I'm not going to lie, it's not fair.
Oh no!
It just shows the bits of quality. I mean, we didn't have that many chances in that game, and the 2 chances that we did have, really clear-cut chances, fell to Mitro, and he just dispatched them so effortlessly. But apart from that, I think he should have scored, especially that overhead kick. Wow.
Oh no, he's a right back as well.
Is he?
He had that in his locker.
I'm looking on TV though, looking at Wolves derby last Saturday. Even Cavallero, he looks like an absolutely stunning player.
I mean, yeah, we signed him from. I think he's our record signing actually. He was like 7.5 million from Monaco. But he hasn't really.
7.5 million.
Yeah, exactly. But he hasn't even been given a chance really. I think he started that one. I think that was his first proper start in the league. He's just had a few cameo appearances off the bench up until now. So it's quite surprising really, because your record signing, you want him to be playing. But when he has played, he's looked really, he's looked quality, which is something that we need. But I just don't know what went wrong in that derby game either.
Yeah, I was in Wigan and we were watching it in Sky, which, by the way, might I say, 3-0 win against Wigan. It's a good away day if you packed it out, but we had a 500 there, so we'll forget about that. He looked good. Like, he was the man that was going through everything at Derby. Like, defensively and attackingly, what went right and what went wrong for that Derby game?
Yeah, our defence this season has always been shaky. We've had a shaky defence for a while. I mean, Danny Bath at the back, he's like a local lad, he's a captain, but a lot of fans are really getting on his back. He's not performing well. He was getting booed every time he touched the ball from our own fans, which is not really good to hear in that Derby game. And we had Courtney House as well, he's like a young defender. Those 2 at the back really just didn't work. The communication between them was shocking. And you could see how easy it was for Derby when they ripped through us going forward with Darren Bent, Russell, Tom Ince. They're just quality going forward. And we shouldn't be letting these teams absolutely rip through us like that. We should be a team like Derby, challenging for the right end of the table. But going forward in that game as well, Derby weren't too great defensively. I thought we were okay going forward, but we just lack a bit of like a clinical touch, which has been a major factor this season for us as well.
Talking about clinical touches, Villa this season be back on the rise. Not doing too bad. Jonathan Codger seems to be pulling all the strings there.
Yeah, he's been massive for them, Codger. I remember watching Villa when they came to Deepdale. I think that was Di Matteo's last match for them. They were shocking, but they really seemed to turn a corner under Bruce. It just shows what a manager can do for them, really.
And guess who their first away win in 464 days was against?
Was it Reading by any chance?
I don't know.
Oh,
the 90th minute penalty.
Oh.
Bit of much.
Preston playing centre midfield.
What?
But But yeah, Villa won 2-1 of them last weekend. Obviously, international break is this week. Probably the worst time to actually start the podcast, obviously, during the international break. But, I mean, we'll look back at the results from the 5th. They beat Blackburn 2-1. Blackburn, they seem to just win a game and lose a game at the moment. Like, they had the poor start of the season. Gallagher probably the only shining light for them. Do you guys reckon Blackburn are going to survive just because they're a big club still?
I think they'll survive. I'll put my neck on the line. I think Blackburn have showed enough this season of, even when they have been losing, they've still been in the matches. I suppose the Villa game was sort of backs it up really. I mean, at the start of the season they were shocking. I mean, I think it was Norwich who they played on the first game of the season. They got battered by them. But since
4-0 away, weren't they?
yeah, awful for Blackburn then. But of course they are quite local to Preston actually, so being a bit of our rivals. But I'd say they'd survive. I think Sam Gallagher's goal will keep them up.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've got enough to stay up. I mean, they're not an extremely talented team. They're not a massive team, sort of player-wise. They're not going to, win the league or anything from the start of the season. They're sort of a mid-table team, in my opinion, currently. And Sam Gallagher, again, when we played him 2 weeks ago, he was quality. He was their sort of main asset. And if they can keep hold of him, I reckon they've got a very good chance of staying up.
Yeah, I was going to say, you only went there 2 weeks ago. Did they look anything decent? It was under the Sky cameras. Some players might turn up. I know some Reading players do that when Sky comes. Yeah, Blackburn were the same, or?
Yeah, they. To be honest, it was a game between two poor teams, in my opinion. But I think I've missed one league game this season, home and away, and Blackburn are definitely not the worst team that I've seen. Going forward, they weren't too bad. And I don't know. I think that they will stay up based on our game from when we played against them. They don't look too bad, to be honest. And Jason Steele in goal, he pulled off some good saves, and if they can keep him as well, he'll be a real good sort of keeper for them.
Clinton, your thoughts, mate?
I was just looking at a couple of their games that they got coming up. They've got Brentford at home, and then they've got us away after that. I mean,
that's a 6-0 hammer in there.
Exactly. And they're already...
Was that a dig? Was that a dig at me there? No shame in losing 6-0. No
we lost 4-1. We scored.
Yeah.
Keep quiet about that.
I'm not really got a comeback to these, to be honest.
Oh, man. But yeah.
They're going to reckon they'll stay up?
I don't think they will, I don't think they will.
Oh, wow.
No, I think they're going to struggle. I mean, looking through their squad now as well, I can't really see anyone who's gonna keep them up. Gallagher, yeah, but again, he might get sold off in January.
He's on loan, they're only from Southampton.
Yeah.
I think they've got him for the season.
But I don't know, mate. I think they'll struggle, to be honest with you.
It's mad. A team that's actually have a Premier League trophy and they're going to be down in League One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's happened to quite a few teams, isn't it? They've gone down from that. I mean, look at Leeds.
Forest have been down before.
Leeds have bounced up and down like a yo-yo. So
Leeds, that's something as well. They beat Norwich 3-2, didn't they?
They've been very impressive lately.
Yeah, we got them coming up next weekend.
That's going to be a tough game,
Yeah. Monk's doing all right at the moment, isn't he, Gary Monk?
Yeah, I was shocked that he made such a bad start, but then all of a sudden he's just clicked them into gear and they look quality at the moment. 91st minute winner.
Any of you guys?
Yeah, that's been a surprising bit, definitely.
Have any of you boys played Leeds yet?
No, not yet. We got them next month.
Yeah, we lost 1-0 to them a few weeks ago.
Oh,
Preston had Leeds yet?
I don't think we've had Leeds yet. No, we might have. My memory seems to elude me at this point. No, I'm pretty sure we've not had Leeds.
Yeah, they picked up a 3-2 win away at Norwich. Vieira scoring in the last minute. Ronaldo Vieira. It's a pretty interesting name. But no, my opinion at the moment, you could say Dwight Gale's up there for signing of the season, but defensively, Pontus Jansson, he looks like a rock at the back.
Yeah, they signed him from some Swedish team, I think, didn't they, as well?
He's on loan from Torino at the moment.
Is he?
Yeah, from Torino, Pontus Jansson. He just looks passionate, so passionate. It's unbelievable. For a player that's on loan there.
And it's amazing how far something like that will actually go in this league as well, in terms of getting you over the edge as well. It's amazing that stuff like that will get you over.
It's like a second wind almost.
Pontus Jansson, who is he?
Oh, you watch next week. He's going to score the winner.
We'll call that bit just on its own, and then when he pops up with the winner, we'll replay it next week.
Listen, mate, he's no Jamal Lascelles, mate. He's no Jamal Lascelles.
Ooh.
Lascelles. Didn't he concede the penalty against Reading?
Don't worry about that. What was the scoreline again? That's all right.
1-1 at that point. That's where the game ended for me. Half time was the finished scoreline.
Is that when you left, is it?
I wish. That other results over the Championship, obviously teams that we don't follow. Burton and Barnsley 0-0. Oh, that sounds like a cracker, doesn't it? I'm almost reading it. Huddersfield Birmingham, that was a playoff fighting game, 1-1. That result helped us out. We're 1 point behind Huddersfield now, Reading.
Is that 1 point behind?
Yeah, 1 point behind Huddersfield, 6 behind Brighton, 9 behind New Clinton. We're climbing slowly.
I can't believe that you're one behind Huddersfield. They were insane at the start. They were lining it up.
Oh no,
they have dropped off recently, but I'm surprised you're only one behind.
I've got so many.
I don't think they'd lost the game until they played us, and we beat them. I think.
Yeah, we got a very good. We beat them. I think it was 3-1 at Deepdale. Yeah, there's not much that day.
I was going to say,
do you see Huddersfield or Birmingham in the playoffs? Sorry, go on, carry on, mate.
No, I was going to say, when we lost to Huddersfield, I got so much abuse from Huddersfield fans giving it the big and saying, look at you guys coming down from the Premier League thinking you can just walk the league and all the rest of it now. And you've come up against a decent team, and now look where they are. Mugs.
And in the playoffs isn't too bad.
Nah, I'm talking about Huddersfield, though, because they were just giving it the big and just because they were top of the league for 2 days or something.
Yeah, I remember when they came away to us, they were going, "We are going up." It was 6 games. You're in October, not March. Sing it in March.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them started going around Reading going, E-I-E-I-E-I-O. I'm like, guys, stop it. No, other results, obviously, just random teams. Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich won 2-1, probably brought Mick McCarthy a little bit more time. Brighton still keeping the pressure on Newcastle, 2-0 win away to Bristol City. That was a good result.
Yeah, but that's Steve Sidwell goal as well. Ooh.
Oh, how I miss Sidders. I miss him so much.
Incredible strike. Incredible.
And then Friday, Brentford and Fulham. 2-0 win for Fulham. That's something I want to talk about. It's Fulham's rise. What's going on there? Why are they 8th in the table?
Yeah, that's been one that surprised me, to be honest. I mean, I think they were one of the teams as well. The first 3 or 4 games of the season, they were looking pretty decent, but since then they seem to drop off.
Start of the season, I said they were going to go down.
Really?
I think remember when we had that first chat, I think I said Fulham will go down.
Gee.
Thank God that wasn't on record. But yeah, they haven't looked too bad.
Yeah, I suppose going into it at the start of the season, I think a lot of people tipped them to struggle since they lost McCormack and Dembele was the other player. They're 2 top
1 goals.
Yeah, I mean, and how were they going to replace that was always going to be the thing. But people like Aluko, he's been fantastic for them, and just through the team, I think what it does, I think this is quite representative of Preston as well. When we lost Joe Garner, what it does when you lose that sort of talisman up front, it galvanises the rest of the squad to contribute more. And I think that's what is happening at Fulham at the moment.
Yeah, they brought in Chris Martin. Sorry, yeah, they brought in Chris Martin as well, didn't they? From Derby, who I think is a very decent Championship striker and will definitely get you goals. And I think he's got a few goals for them already this season. So,
I mean, that 5-0 win against Huddersfield was incredible. That absolutely incredible. About 2 weeks ago, that was ridiculous.
He's a decent singer as well, Chris Martin.
4 goals he's got for them. Yeah, very decent.
I'm going to bring that joke up so many times this season. But no, moving into our teams, I'll start off with the early kickoff. Scott, obviously we talked about it a little bit. Like David Edwards, that's something I want to talk about. He seems to pop up quite often with a goal here.
He does. He likes a sky goal. He definitely likes a sky goal. He always scores whenever we're live. He's actually quite a controversial player again, David Edwards, between fans. A lot of fans don't rate him and don't like him and don't want him in the team, which again I find ridiculous because I'm a massive David Edwards fan. He's like a bit again, like we've been talking about passion. He's like quite a local guy. He's passionate. He's been at the club for like 9 years now, I think, and he always pops up with goals here and there, which is what we need really, because no one else seems to be doing it lately. So,
what do you think about the Tommins penalty?
From where I stand, it looked it looked like a penalty. I think I've seen replays. He's definitely gone down a bit too easy, and the way he went down was a bit dramatic.
I thought it was a dive, to be honest. I thought he's gone down way too easily there with that.
Yeah, he did. And a couple of minutes later, I think Cavallero got into their box and got fouled. And again, I think that was a little bit soft. But if he's given the Tom Ince one, the rest got to give us a penalty for it. But
yeah, agree with that.
Yeah, it's be one of them games where the first half they're just shocking. But second half, they seem to turn it back around, and then that third goal feels off really, didn't it?
We've started first half this season has been our absolute downfall. We've been shocking every time. Every game this first half in each game we've been dreadful, and the second half we turned it on a bit, but sometimes it's just not enough.
Well, apart from the game against us, you weren't dreadful.
Yeah.
No, we've got to talk about it at some point. Newcastle.
Hey.
Here we go.
2-1 against Cardiff. Seemed a little bit nervy actually. Mitrovic. I'm going to say that was a penalty personally, looking at that. Go on, mate. Tell us, how was it?
It was nervy, mate. I mean, we always make things harder than it needs to be. The first couple of minutes, obviously, we got the first goal. We thought, you know what, we're going to smash this 3 or 4-0. Got the second goal at half-time. And all the people around me were saying, we need that third goal. We need it. Because we've been in this situation too many times before where we've let teams get back into the game. And that's what happens. Got back into the game. Surprising that they didn't put on, was it Shamak and Whittingham? I thought it was their best 2 players that came on. I think if they start...
best player.
No, seriously. On paper, Cardiff have got a decent side. They've got a lot of ex-Premier League players in there. Richardson was playing instead of Whittingham, which I found odd. As soon as Whittingham came on, I think he changed the game for him. And if he had an extra...
minutes after.
Yeah. I think if he had an extra 20 minutes on the pitch, I think they would have equalised. And to be honest, that Mitrovic bear hug, if you want to call it that, I think it was a penalty. I would have appealed for it if it was the other end. So it's one of those lucky games that we've had to grind out. But again, we've got 3 points. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, obviously 2 goals first half. Gouffran and Atsu. Again, what is Atsu doing in the Championship? It's unfair.
Well, he's not been able to find a home since he's pretty much started, to be honest with you. He's been pushed around from pillar to post since he signed for Chelsea. I think he's been at 7 clubs already. So he's looking for a home, and thankfully it's at Newcastle United at the moment. I don't know if he's going to sign a permanent deal. I believe we're still in the market for another winger come January. And I'm sure Rafa's already got his feelers out for another wide player on a permanent basis. We've been linked with an Irish winger from Dundalk.
Same one as we've been linked with.
Is it that Horgan?
Dundalk bloke.
Yeah, the Horgan.
Yeah, we've been linked with him as well.
Oh god.
Yeah, I was going to say the one I read was us, Newcastle, and Villa were after it.
Apparently he's the new Damien Duff from what I read, but wait to see if that actually happens or materialises. But yeah, I still reckon we're a couple players short of, preparing not only to see off and hopefully win the Championship, but prepare us for the next or get into the Premier League basically.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. Newcastle are going to get in the Premier League, and they'll slot straight back into that mid-table side straight away. I don't feel like you'll be in a relegation battle next year. I reckon you'll be slotted straight back into that mid-table side, lower, maybe higher. That's personally what I feel.
Yeah, I think with Benitez, he'll make a massive difference in the Premier League, especially. And if it was McLaren in charge with the same team, I'd say you'd probably be in a relegation battle next year. But I think Benitez just gives you that extra edge over other people. Yeah, maybe this year as well. I mean, Benitez in the Championship in the first place is obscure, and
I mean,
it was surreal seeing him on the touchline. Really, to be honest, in a Championship game when I went.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, from what I could see of him.
Oh yeah, well that's some more news as well that might be changing. I don't know if it's going to affect the Championship crowds, definitely Premier League crowds. Did you read that on Sky Sports that they're gonna?
Yeah, they got to be closer, ain't they?
Yeah, they got to be pitch side more or less. I think that should be
really?
for. Yeah, I think that should be for everywhere. I only saw it for the Premier League for next season, but it should be for the Championship as well. Because I agree, it makes better atmospheres. Yeah, if the away fans are closer to the pitch, because you guys are up in the nosebleeds at St James's Park. You must have to get the binoculars out just to see what's going on.
As a James, I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy St James's Park.
No, maybe that was a good thing for you. Then you didn't get to see it when you came.
Preston 3-1 winners against Rotherham. We only scraped past Rotherham in the last minute. Dominant performance.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first half especially summed up why Rotherham are bottom of the table with 7 points. It was like Rotherham. They didn't have anything in this. For the first half, I'll give them credit in the second half, but for the first half, it was basically like a knife through butter. Really, I mean, Callum Robinson missed a very good chance early on, but that was shortly rectified by two first half goals from Hugill and Robinson. And it's just that thing, really. You can only beat what's in front of you. But because a bit of a shock in the second half when I think it was Odin Wingy came on for them. I think in the first half they didn't really create anything. They didn't have that creative spark. But I think in the second half he provided that for them. But they got a goal back. Then again, we managed to see it off with a nice Vermeil goal at the end. So 3-1, I'd take it. Nice bounce back from those two games against Newcastle, which we won't mention.
Winless in 12 now, though, for Rotherham. Kenny Jackett hasn't really turned them around just yet. Scott, you've got to be clearly got to know something about Kenny Jackett. Do you reckon he can turn it around for him or not?
Well, when he went there, I thought he can. But I think what's going to be the factor is their actual squad itself. I think Kenny Jackett's a decent manager if he had a decent sort of squad with him, and especially if he gets a bit of a budget in January, which I'm not sure at Rotherham whether he will or not, whether he can get his own players in. But I think the squad's going to be the main problem at Rotherham. I don't think Kenny Jackett's a bad manager at all, and he probably is the right man if there's anyone out there to try and keep them up. But I think the squad is going to be their main downfall this season.
Yeah, I think Rotherham will go down. I think they'll be down. Going through their squad now, I can't see them staying up. I think if they were to, their January transfer window would have to be miraculous, but I can't see that happening.
I mean, with the budget they're on as well, let's be honest, they ain't going to be millions and millions.
No. I think they were right to go for Kenny Jackett, though. I think if they are to go down to League One, which is looking likely, I think he'd be the right man to turn them around then. That's when he's got full summer to do with the squad. But
thing is, are they patient enough?
I don't know what their owners would be expecting at this point in the season. 7 points if they thought anyone could turn it around. But I'd like to think that they'd be patient enough to stick out with him.
Well, last game then, someone that I'd really, really, really do like to talk about. Reading went to Wigan. I think I left at 7:45 in the morning. Oof. Ended up picking up a 3-0 win, and the game was over in 5 minutes. We were 2-0 up.
God, yeah.
57 seconds we scored our first goal in.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, Gareth McCleary popping up with one, then he popped up with his second in the 5th minute. To be honest, Adam Bogdan might be one of the worst goalkeepers I've seen live. Absolutely dreadful. The first goal was a ball played over the top by, I think it was Tyler Blackett. And he's come to run out for it, then he's jogged backwards. Then he's run back again and backwards and backwards and back. And then McCleary's chipped it over him, and that's 1-0 in 57 seconds. And then the second one was straight across goal. McCleary shot straight across him, and Bogdan maybe has the slowest reaction I've seen. But yeah, dominant by Reading. Should have had more, really, to be honest. 3-0. McCleary got 2. Kermaghan got the other from a penalty. McCleary was going to take it, but then he said to Kermaghan, "Nah, you're the striker. You need to take it," which I think is fair enough. I mean, he gave up his hat-trick, really. He gave up an inform on FIFA that I could have had. Could have helped you with your new series, Ben.
Yeah, he just slotted him pretty nicely there.
Oh, that's nice.
No, but I was gutted that he didn't go for the hat-trick because he would have been on 7 goals for the season, which for a winger, I think is pretty decent. Yeah, Kermaghan got his 3rd of the season. Probably should have had more than that. He had 2 shots which were pretty good, well blocked by Jake Buxton, I think it was. Yeah, we did score a 4th goal though. It was an absolutely peach of a goal. PSG winger we got for free, Yaku Mate. He's 19 years old. He came off. It was his first came on. Sorry, it was his first game for the club. He's been injured since the summer. Came on, scored. Ran over to the fans. He was pointing to the back of his shirt, going crazy, and he turned around and he saw that the linesman's flag was up. So that was a bit embarrassing for him. But no, he looks like a gem of a player. Yeah, he looks decent. 3-0 win though. We've got Burton Albion at home next. Reading could be getting 12 points from 12 games. Who would have said that? Who would have said that Reading would be up there?
Enjoy it while it lasts,
though,
mate. Enjoy it while
who
it
would have
lasts.
said that?
I thought it would have been mid-table. If I'm saying it now, I thought it would be. It could still be, but from what you've shown recently, I've been surprised. I've got to say, I have been surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted 10th for the start. So I said I'd be happy with 10th.
Yeah, I think I predicted around 10th for Reading as well.
Yeah, after the 2 seasons we've had, 19th and 17th, which is dreadful, absolutely dreadful. We had a fantastic start of the season last year, which we were joint top with Brighton at one point, and then we just fell apart. But luckily, we've gone past that point this year, which I'm starting to believe a little bit now, which I know I shouldn't. I've got a little bit inside my belly, a little bit of butterflies, thinking, yes, we're going to do something this year. Come on, this can be the year. But then I remember you got Brighton there, you got Newcastle, you got teams on the right, you got Norwich and Aston Villa, which can turn it around at any point. I don't know.
I think it's going to be so tight. There's so many teams. Looking down the table now, there's so many teams that can make it into that top 6. It's ridiculous. I'd say anyone down to, I think maybe even Derby can make anyone down to 16th at this point. I'd say can realistically make the playoffs.
I think as long as Reading keep winning, we'll be there.
Simple.
If we win all our games, we might.
Yeah, I'd take that for Preston and win the rest of our games. Wouldn't be a bad season.
There's always a question that I've had with football fans, like obviously when I'm at my sixth form and stuff. And it's, would you rather see attractive football but lose just a little bit and then have inconsistent results, or would you rather win scrappy 1-0s every week?
Scrappy 1-0s
every week.
Yes.
That pretty much sums up Preston anyway. From what we've been doing recently, it's never been like the prettiest football under Simon Grayson, but we grind it out and find a way in the end. And I think that's what brings you joy out of it as well, to be honest, when you beat people that sometimes you know you shouldn't have beat. I think that just, I don't know, gives you that extra step, I'd say.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's what I say to everyone. But for some reason, Reading have got a lot of glory hunters down here. A lot of them are West Ham, Arsenal, teams like that, close to London.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck with me, stuck with going to Reading every week. It's fun, but it's not at the same time. Nah, but that's some of the I don't like. Is there glory hunters then around your areas?
Around Preston, it's probably mostly Man United that's the club, the go-to club that a lot of, if it's not going to be a local team, which is annoying, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm from a town called Telford. It's probably only about 15 miles from Wolverhampton. It's not that far, but the majority of people in my class at school supported Liverpool and Man United. I think there was about 5 or 6 people who were Wolves fans from my year, which isn't really very good. No one really supported any non-league teams or anything. It's just Liverpool, Man United, Wolves, a couple of Villa. That's pretty much it.
And
Because you guys will have all seen your teams in the Premier League, won't you?
oh yeah.
That was wonderful.
Well, I mean,
1 point off of Europe.
God. I mean, I've seen the heights of League One at its peak. But two trips to the Championship. Never been in the Premier League. One
Maybe
day.
they'll do it this year.
3 points away from the playoffs at the moment. Who knows?
Right, well, to tie into other news then, just random things here and there. Ian Holloway back at QPR. What does everyone think of that?
I'm going to miss him on Sky Sports, to be honest.
I'm not.
No?
Always predict Reading loss. Every week. Oh yeah, Reading to lose.
Whenever he's on
Maybe
Sky...
good luck.
Whenever he's on Sky Sports, he's always licking Benitez's bum, so I can't have missed that.
But he did include Al Habsi in his team of the season, to be fair, so far, which I cannot deny with. I remember Scott, when we went to you lot, he was my man of the match.
He was incredible, yeah, he was.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a blinder against Newcastle or not. I don't think he did. I think he conceded 4 goals in that game, so I don't think he worked his magic in that one. Did all right against you boys, though, Ben.
Yeah. I feel like this is just all the stuff that gets brought up, really, you know. Negativity, you know. We just want to focus on the good things, really.
Nah, to be fair though, Preston, they've turned it around. I was thinking, yes, I'm going to give you stick when you were lingering down the bottom, but no, you definitely turned it around. I think key players for you, Daniel Johnson, has he turned it back around then?
Yeah, he's been one of the contributing players. I mean, last season, his season last season was ridiculous. Start of last season, he was playing a 10 out of 10 most weeks, and then the second half of the season, he was playing probably a 2. So this season, you know, we didn't really know what to expect from him, but I'd say ever since the Aston Villa game, he's been extremely good for us. But other players like that, like Jordan Hugill, stepped up this season. In the absence of Garner, really, I feel like that had a big galvanising effect on the squad, like I've said. But who knows what's possible? 11th now. I'd have never thought that after like the first 6 games of the season.
Yeah, well, there's still a long way to go either way. Like, you never know, Newcastle could go on a massive draw.
Easy. I was going to say, Ben, I quite like Johnson from what I've seen him in that game. He's the only player that I've seen man mark John Joe Shelby so far this season. I find it baffling that most players and most managers should know that most of our play goes through John Joe Shelby. So he's the only person to actually man mark him and stick with him the majority of the game and keep him quiet.
He was kept quite quiet that match, Shelby, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, he did quite a good job. So,
I don't actually think there's too much other news in the Championship, to be fair. Nothing much really gone on. It's internationals, really, isn't it? So,
I know. Very fault. Has Shelby received his ban?
5 games, isn't it?
He's going to get 5 games, but he's got up until the 16th of November to appeal it. But
okay,
I don't think...
Ban him until after the Reading game.
Which is strange how that's taken so long, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Shelby thing.
I still don't know how it happened. Like, obviously it happened on the pitch, but
apparently the player didn't even know.
Exactly.
Vines, I think it was. I think he didn't even know that it happened.
Apparently it was another player that heard it. Do you know who it was, Scott?
I don't know. The player who was towards, I think, was a midfielder called Romain Saiss. He's Moroccan, but I'm not sure. I think someone, obviously like an English-speaking player of our team, must have reported it, but I'm not too sure who it was. No, it's not been said anywhere.
Right. It'll be interesting to hear back from that one and see what sort of ban he gets and how he'll be reprimanded by the club. Because the point that I was trying to make was that we back the kick racism out of football, regime scheme so much, and for that to happen with one of our players, one of our star players as well, kind of just defeats the
It's a
whole.
big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it defeats the whole idea of doing it and being an advocate for it. So it'll be interesting to see what the club does, not just what the EFL does.
Right, well, last thing then to touch up upon, preview for the weekend's fixtures. Got Brighton versus Aston Villa on the Friday night. Do you know what? This could end up being a 6-pointer come the end of the season. What does everyone think?
That's pretty big, to be fair. I've not actually looked through the fixtures yet, but that is a massive one.
I'm going to go over 1-0 Brighton to sneak it, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll go 1-0 Brighton.
I'm going to say 3-1 Brighton. I think they've been very good at home this season.
Whoa. Come on. No, I wanted.
You're praying for Villa to win, ain't you?
Yeah. Now, I want to draw because I don't want Villa fans to start picking up hope, but at the same time, I want Brighton to be kept at bay. I want to start.
I think Brighton could take you to quite close, you know.
It would be nice. You know what? I wouldn't mind Brighton coming up with us. You know, Chris Hughton, X-Mag and all the rest. All that.
Like us instead.
Nah, you guys like the Championship. You can stay there.
I don't like the Championship. The same ground every season. I'm fed up of it. I want to see some big grounds. I went to Arsenal the other week, and that was a lot.
I thought you guys are used to the Championship by now.
We regret an atmosphere. Yeah. Still, those Saturday fixtures: Barnsley versus Wigan. That seems like one of the greatest ties you can get in the Championship.
Ooh.
Do you know what? 1-0 Wigan. No, actually, 1-0 Barnsley. 1-0 Barnsley.
Indecisive. I'm going to say 0-0.
I'm going to say 2-0 Barnsley.
I'm going to say 3-0 Barnsley, hat-trick Adam Armstrong.
Is that going to be the same for every single game of the season? Birmingham, Bristol City. That could again be a Championship playoff decider as well. I mean, both of them are up there at the moment. I reckon that'd be 1-1, personally.
I'll say 2 on Bristol City.
I don't like saying it, but I reckon Birmingham might win that 1-0.
No. Bristol City, they'll win 2-1.
See, we got Bristol City after, so I'm hoping Birmingham win, just so they go on a bad momentum. So we can pick up maybe a little bit more points. We got Blackburn, Brentford. That seems like Brentford are going to smash them. They smashed us 4-1. Brentford beat us 4-1. I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
God, everyone seems to beat you 4-1, don't they?
Yeah, I know. That's our only two. Oh, no, well, actually. We've lost 4 games this year. Wolves, Newcastle, Brentford, and Villa.
And 2 of them were 4-1?
Yeah. The other 2 were 2-1 and 2-0, which is mad. I don't get it. One week we'll be banging in 3 goals against Wigan, which is a fantastic achievement. The next week we'll end up losing 4-1. What's going on? It's the Championship, isn't it? It's mad. No, Blackburn, Brentford, what do you all reckon? I reckon 1-0 Brentford, personally.
I reckon 1-1.
2-2.
2-0 Brentford.
Cardiff, Huddersfield, 1-0 Huddersfield.
Ooh, I'm struggling for this one, you know. Cardiff have been very good since they've been with Neil Warnock. I'm going to say 1-1.
0-0.
I reckon this one will be a draw. I reckon Cardiff will pull out of the bag. Probably 2-2.
Don't know, Kashunga, is that his name? The one who plays on the wing for Huddersfield. He ain't looked too bad this year.
Yeah, he's been one of those. Yeah. I think a lot of their players have been like that, really. They've been quite surprised because they're quite unheard of, a lot of them that they brought in. Like they got
Van La Parra.
Yeah.
He got sent off against us because he got booked, and then about 5 minutes later, the ref is blowing the whistle, come here, and he was walking. No, come here. He's walking. No, come here, mate. No, he's carrying on walking, sends him off, and he's like, wait, what have I done wrong?
It's the sort of thing you did at Wolves. He was he had a bit of an attitude about him.
Yeah.
Derby versus Rotherham. Is the slump going to continue, or is Steve McLaren going to work his magic? 2-0 Derby. Matty Vidra, obviously, last year we had him and he scored 2 league goals for us, which is fantastic. Seems to be turning it up a little bit now. Seems to be playing a little bit better. Yeah, I think he's 2 league goals from already. And, as well, he scored against us.
Oh, blimey. I'll say 3-0 Derby. I can't see anything with Rotherham.
Yeah, comfortable Derby win 2-0.
No, I want Rotherham to smash up Derby, please. Just do it. I just want to see McLaren's face on the sideline thinking, what have I got myself in for? Please, please. 5-0 Rotherham. Put it out there.
I'm feeling you might get a few predictions around this. We've got Fulham versus Sheffield Wednesday, another 3 o'clock kickoff. Interesting one. Both teams look to be trying to go for the playoffs this year. I'm going to go 1-1.
I'm going to say 2-1 Fulham. I think Sheffield Wednesday, I think they've underachieved so far. I think with the squad they've got, I think they should be doing better than how they started. I think going forward as well, they should be a lot more clinical. So I'll say 2-1 Fulham.
Yeah, I think Fulham might nick it 1-0.
Yeah, let's go with a Fulham win. I mean, they're doing all right, aren't they?
Here's an interesting one. We've got Preston versus Wolves.
Who?
That is a little bit of an interesting one. Preston versus Wolves.
Who are they?
That's what dreams are made of.
I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go 0-0, no goal scorers, no. I'm just going to shout this one. I'm going to let you guys have a little debate about this.
I mean, I've said it a lot, but we'll forget about the 2 Newcastle games. If we forget about the Newcastle games, Preston are unbeaten in the last 8. So going up against Wolves' current form, I do feel quite confident going into this game, but that always seems to. Whenever I get confident going into a Preston game, it's never a good thing. But I'll say 2-1 Preston. I think it could be a close one. I think with how we are sometimes, we get a bit, not complacent, but we seem to take our eye off the ball a little bit sometimes. But I'll say 2-1 Preston.
Because obviously it's Paul Lambert's first game in charge for us, so it's a bit unexpected as to what team, whether because he's got this in the international break to sort of find out his players and see them in training before he selects them. So I don't know who could play for us, and I don't think he'll know who plays who, like our best players or anything. But I reckon it'll be 1-1. I reckon it'll be a decent game. Hopefully good atmosphere as well. But yeah, 1-1 I go.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, same mate. Unless we lose, but you know.
QPR v Norwich seems a bit tasty. Actually, no, it don't. What do you all reckon? I reckon
that's a hard one. I think that's quite
because
a hard
Alex
one.
Neil is under so much pressure right now.
Norwich have been awful recently.
Unreal how much pressure he's under. I hope he's still in that bit of a slump come Boxing Day because we're playing him. I don't know. I can see him winning this one. I reckon the international breaks caused them to change it up. 1-0 Norwich.
I'm going to say 0-0.
1-1.
3-1 Norwich.
Ooh.
I just realised, Clinton, we didn't get your Preston Wolves prediction.
To be honest with you, I hope they both injure each other. No players on the pitch. Ends in a ball draw. And both managers get sacked after the game as well.
Paul Lambert getting sacked after one game.
Yeah. Wolves are breaking records this season.
If any of these predictions come off, I'll be amazed. I'll be stunned.
You want the lottery numbers off me afterwards, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm worried about him predicting this next one. Reading Burton. Reading are at home.
Oh.
By the way, I say Burton are 18th. Reading are 4th in the table. Reading are doing very well for themselves. 3 wins in a row. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Reading win.
Oh, this one's hard. Burton are always tough to back against because I feel like in the big games they always seem to hold on to them even until the last minute and have like sort of a glimmer of hope in them. I think I'm going to say 1-0 Reading.
Their form away from home is not the best. That's what I've looked at. I
think they're just going to park the bus, you know. I think you'll have about 99% possession. Burton will have one shot, but I think it'll take a last-minute winner to beat them down. 1-0 Reading.
Game then for Reading.
yeah, pretty much.
I reckon Burton will win that 6-0 now, Joke, and I reckon Reading will win that 3-2.
3-2.
As much as I want to say Burton will pick up a win, it's pretty obvious Reading will win this one. So Reading win 2-0.
Can I just clarify? We've all gone for Reading wins. That means Burton are going to turn us over 3-0. Ipswich versus Nottingham Forest. I think it's a Sky kickoff. I mean, it's on at 5:30. Don't know why else it would be. Forest have been in a massive slump. Ipswich don't seem to be doing too well. Ball draw 1-1.
That's a tough one. I'm going to say, is Assombalonga fit for this game? I think if he is, Forest have got a chance of getting something from it, but I'll say 2 on Ipswich. I can't really back Forest with the form they're in.
Yeah, I'll go 1-0 Ipswich. I don't think Forest have got anything about them at the moment.
Oh, Forest are that bad?
Forest are dreadful.
Yeah,
they keep up with the league.
At the back, it's woeful.
I don't watch it. I don't look at anyone like past 6th place. To be honest with you.
You're not looking at Reading, then. You must love looking at us.
All right, I'll just follow the trend then. Ipswich win.
Yeah, Forest are 20th forward.
Oh wow! Flipping hell.
2 points off relegation.
Oh wow!
Finally, then, last game of the week, we have Leeds United versus some small team from up north.
Hey!
Now we've got Leeds versus Newcastle, 1:15 on a Sunday. Ford, you going, mate?
Of course I'm going. I'm going on a Saturday night as well. Quick weekend out in Leeds. Yeah, you got to make the most of these away days, don't you? I'm expecting a tough test on this one. I'm not that confident, although I might say it all the time. We're going to win the league and all the rest of it. I think it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go with 2-1 still, but I reckon that Leeds will push us. Probably the most we've been pushed so far this season.
More than Preston in the last minute.
Yeah. Just a little bit more.
This is a tough one. This is actually this is probably the toughest one of the weekend, to be fair.
Yeah, this is a hard one, really.
I mean, it's on TV because it's Leeds and Newcastle to begin with. It's always going to be on TV. They're the only teams that get picked for TV for the Championship.
That'll be a great atmosphere as well at Ellen Road. Leeds against Newcastle.
It's sold out, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sold out.
Have they really?
33,000, I think it is.
I'm going to back Leeds, you know.
No, come on, Ben. Don't take it to heart, mate.
I feel... I don't know. I'm going to say 2-1 Leeds.
Oh, my gosh. I remember that.
You heard it here first, honestly.
I remember that. Remember we still got...
It'll be a close game.
Remember we still got to play you lot again?
I'll go 2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Scotty.
Thing is, I don't want Newcastle to break our record points total. I've seen a load of people on your interviews for being, oh yeah, we're going to break the 106, we're going to break it. You didn't break it the first time you were in the Championship. I'm begging that you don't break it, because one, that's like the only song we have. It's the only comeback we get when it's, oh, you've got no history. Yeah, we do. We've got the record points total in the whole of England. So I'm begging that you guys do not break our points total. So I'm going to go 1-0 Leeds.
Oh, no way. Shambles, a lot of you. I hope you lot all lose and all get relegated as well.
Preston and Wolves to lose when they're playing each other. Looks like an interesting week. Right, I'm going to do a little thing as well. Last thing. Who do you think will be the player of the weekend for all the teams? Like, not for all the teams, but for the whole weekend. Who will be the best player out of all of the teams?
Right, so
I know what I'm going to go for.
what, John Joe Shelby?
Oh no! What with the lead? With his own goal against Lee? We won't be playing anyway, will he? What, from sitting on the sideline?
He still will be playing the weekend.
When's he banned then?
I don't even know when this ban kicks in, to be honest with you. But I'll probably go with Dwight Gale if he comes back. He's been out for a couple of games, giving the rest of the championship a chance, So when he's back, he'll be back in that scoring run. So either him or Mitro. Mitro's on fire still.
Player of the weekend for me. I'm going to go with... I think I said Brighton win 2-0, didn't I? I'm going to go Knockout. He'll be back after his father's funeral. Knockout looks outstanding for this league. Knockout.
That's a good shout,
He's too good for Brighton.
I'm going to go...
second in the league. How can he be too good?
He should be with us. He could be first in the league. He's got to have bigger ambitions, man.
But what if you lose 3-0 and they win 3-0? They go above you.
No, man. All of that is fucking fairy tale stuff, man. He could be playing for us. No. Playing in the Premier League next season. He could potentially be playing another season in the Championship if Brighton don't do it. So he could just come to us in January, be playing Premier League football this time next season, and that's it, man.
I'd laugh so much if Brighton finish above you.
Nah.
After that,
I'd laugh if anyone finished above.
Yeah, to be fair. Player of the week, I'm going to continue this. I think Leeds United will cause an upset, so I'm going to continue with the trend. I'm going to say Chris Wood from Leeds. I think he scored last week against Norwich. I'm going to say two goals for Chris Wood. I think that might sink Newcastle.
I think he's got 14 and 17, something like that.
Yeah, and going into this season, I saw a lot of Leeds fans who didn't rate him as well, so it's quite surprising what a bit of confidence can do to a striker. But I'm saying Chris Wood, player of the week.
That disappoints me, Ben.
Yeah, Karen.
Disappoints me, mate. I'm changing.
Go on, Scott, what are we going to say?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Tom Kearney of Fulham. I think he scored last week against Brentford, and they've got Sheffield Wednesday, and I don't think Sheffield Wednesday are that good defensively this season. I'll go Tom Kearney.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, especially him versus Herbie Emanuelson, who's like, 45 at this point. So that's going to be it for the Championship podcast. I don't have a clue what's going to be called just yet. We could all agree on a name at one point. But no, thank you very much for everyone who's ended up sticking up and listening. Hopefully, well, to be fair, if some people get this far into it, a big fair play to you. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been James.
I've been Ben.
I've been Scott.
I've been 40.
And we'll see you all in the next one.